Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's board act as advisors to this board. To my left is Blaise Donadio. He is a planner in the planning department. However, Mr. John Zollo, who is the town attorney, will be arriving a little bit later. Now let me tell you why you're here tonight. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a board of appeals to act as a relief valve so that those persons aggrieved by strict application of the zoning ordinance can seek relief without the expense of going to court. Town board can give Board of Appeals additional powers such as special exceptions, approvals, site plan approvals. In Smithtown, the town board has given this board authority regarding certificate of existing use and some special exception uses. The most common kind of application before the board are area variances. Area variants deal with dimensions such as lot area, frontage, height, setbacks, and parking spaces. The New York State statute mandates that the board must consider the following criteria in area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, you need to address these 5 areas. They are posted here for you. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether the adverse impact on the environment will be created. Number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. The statute requires the board to balance the interest of the applicant and those of the neighborhood or community. This statute further requires that the board shall grant the minimum variance it shall deem necessary and adequate, and at the same time preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions for granting variances. Special exception applications are different than area variances. When we have a special exception application before us, I will explain the different criteria. Regarding procedure, cases will be called in order that they are advertised. When your case is called, please come forward. Submit your affidavits and mailing receipts to Mr. Donadio, and then you will be sworn in at the podium. And you'll be given the opportunity to explain to this board why you need the variance. After the applicant is done speaking, all the interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. So please, organize your thoughts, keep your remarks factual that are related to the case. Then I will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to answer your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all the hearings are closed, the board will review the cases and decide some of them. Others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out the results of the case. 1, you can wait until after the public hearing, but there's no guarantee that the board will act on your case tonight. Number 2, you can call the planning department tomorrow afternoon. And number 3, applicants can wait and be notified by mail. We introduced you already. Okay. I do have an adjournment. Where is it? Okay. Case 16987, Applebee's. Was there anyone interested in that case? That has been adjourned to October 22nd. Okay. Mr. Donadio?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first case on the agenda, number 16982, James McGuffin, 2 Evers Court, Comac, location southwest corner of Evers Court and Ruth Boulevard. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback of a proposed 6-foot fence from edge of road pavement from 20 feet to 10 feet on Ruth Boulevard.
You have to bring all the papers here, please, first.
Take your time. Right, and the green slips from the post office, return receipt slips and the green slips. That'd be them.
Thank you.
And those?
You're coming to look.
Oh, great. Is that it? Okay.
May I have your name, please?
James McGuffin,
And your address?
2 Evers Court, Comac, New York.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
I'm here applying to put up a 6-foot fence instead of a 4-foot fence. The variance reads it has to be 20 feet off the curb. I would like to put it on my property line, which is 10 feet off the curb. So I'm applying for a variance from 20 feet to 10 feet off the curb.
He's on his property line? Is that the right advertisement?
Curve now, right?
All right. You want to, anything else you want to say?
Well, you want me to go over the question? As far as my neighbor's concerned, it's a 6-foot PVC fence. It's going to be gray. It's going to be very tasteful. We're going to plant some shrubs in front of it and everything to make it look nice. Right now, we have a 4-foot chain link fence. Everyone can see into my backyard. And I have 3 young boys, and most of the time the backyard's a mess. So I do believe that the neighbors would appreciate if they didn't see all the toys and everything laying around.
Okay. You won't have any objection if we have put a condition on for planting?
What's that?
You won't have any objection if we put a condition on for planting in front of the fence?
No, I am going to do some planting. No, I won't have any conditions on it.
Is there any problem with it? Okay. Planning?
Comments?
Gentlemen? Okay. Thank you so much.
That's it?
That's it. Is there anyone here who would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
It's really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case on the agenda, number 16983, Denise De Paola, 9 Francis Street, Nesconset. Location is the east side of Francis Street, 354 feet north of Smithtown Boulevard. The property is zoned R15. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 feet to 9 feet and total side yards from 34 to 18 feet for a proposed in-ground pool, reduce minimum front yard setback on Dorothy Street from 45 feet to 0 for an existing 6-foot fence, 100-square-foot shed, and swing set. Outstanding. Thank you.
May I take the mic so it's down for you? May I have your name, please?
Denise DePaola,
And your address, Denise?
9 Francis Street, Nesconset.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You want to tell us why you're here?
We'd like to do a proposed in-ground swimming pool in our backyard. Unfortunately, the property is only 50 feet wide, so we'd like to reduce the side yard variance down to 9 feet on each side for a total of 18. We already have an existing variance for the property, for the house, because we have a 9-foot side yard variance. The property touches 2 roads, Dorothy Street being the back street, which is considered a front yard as well. So we'd like to reduce that front yard setback in order to put a fence. Well, the fence is existing.
The fence
And we'd
is
like-
there.
Yes, we'd like to leave it on the property line, which is 10 feet from the curb, which is in compliance with everyone else in the neighborhood. We'd also need a front yard setback in order to put a swing set within the 35 feet from the curb. I don't feel it has any ill effect on the neighborhood because it's in compliance with everyone else in the neighborhood.
Well, we visited the property yesterday.
Okay?
Um, You know, for me, if I were going to approve this, I would definitely make you put plantings in front of that fence.
On the curbside,
Yeah,
we did stop plantings. There are 2 trees in existence right now.
yeah, I don't mean that. I mean, maybe arborvitae cover the fence to soften it.
We intend to do that. I didn't
Okay.
want to put too much in with machinery going in and out. But we intend to put all plantings to cover the entire fence on the outside.
Okay. Planting, planning?
We're in agreement with the applicant's proposal to do the plantings once the pool is installed and the construction is completed. We think that's a good compromise in lieu of leaving the fence where it is.
Okay. Gentlemen? Nothing? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Is regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16984, Michael and Maria Verdaro, 28 Fleetwood Road, Comac. Location north side of Fleetwood Road, 105 feet east of Miles Court. The property is zoned R21. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the front yard setback from 45 feet to 43 feet for a proposed 45-square-foot portico, reduce the rear yard setback from 50 feet to 43 feet for a proposed 70-square-foot covered porch, 100-square-foot first-floor addition, and 134-square-foot second-floor addition. Increase the maximum FAR from 25% to 26% for a 204-square-foot first-floor addition and 671-square-foot second-floor addition. How are you? Do you have the green slips and the return receipts? Yes, please. Are you their attorney?
No, Michael. I am actually.
Oh, you are? Okay. That's great. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Did he know it?
Shall I begin?
Now, let me have your name, please.
Yes, Michael Vardaro. I am the applicant.
You are the applicant.
Yes.
And your address, please?
28 Fleetwood Road, Comac, New York, 11725.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Is there anyone that you else is going to speak?
The architect is here in case the board has any questions for
Okay,
him.
why don't I just swear you in so that in case you're going to speak. Let me have your name and spell your last name, please.
Name is Ryan Kessner, Kesner.
Your
And
address?
The company address
Fine.
is 3760 Expressway Drive South, Islandia, New York.
Okay.
McDonough Conroy.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, did you want to start then, please?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. As I said, I am Michael Vardaro. I'm the applicant along with my wife, Maria, who's sitting in the back, anxiously awaiting your decision. We are before you today. We purchased this dwelling at the end of May. It is a single-family home in the Country Woods section of Comac, for those of you that know that area. It is zoned in R21, so it's half-acre zoning. Our lot is only .35 acre, so it is a non-conforming lot. Our application tonight is for a variance, and there's 3 pieces of that. The first piece is the front yard setback. At the present time, the existing home has a front yard setback of 45.9 feet, which is about 4 feet less than the required 50 feet. We are not moving the house forward, any part of the house forward in terms of living space. What we are requesting is permission to build a portico over the front door. The application had some photos of the home. It is a very conservative, standard Georgian colonial, so there's, at the present time, just kind of a front door and no covering over it as you enter the premise. So that's the first piece of it. If there's any questions, or do you want me to just present on
Go
all
ahead.
pieces? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, and then we'll ask the questions.
Okay, so that's the first piece. The second piece is the rear yard setback. From our application, you can see that our property isn't a rectangle. The northeast corner is cut off diagonally, and so the rear yard setback is actually measured from that diagonal line. At the present time, the house has a rear yard setback of 51.9 feet, which is non-conforming, the requirement being 75 feet. And we are asking for a variance to decrease that distance to 43.5 feet. There is a little covered porch in the back. From an architectural standpoint, I think the back of the house without that porch wouldn't look the way it should. And, you know, we were carefully considering our options. Certainly, one of the thoughts we had was to actually make that livable space, but in looking at the whole of the application, which I'll get to, which is the final piece of our application, we realized that we couldn't make that livable space, but from an architectural standpoint, it was important to have that cover. So the third part of our application deals with the floor area ratio. I know that in the official documentation for tonight's meeting, it states that we are asking for a change to 26%, but I don't think that that is accurate. On our application, we actually asked for 29.8%, so I just want to bring that to the board's attention.
Oh, can I have the
So-
folder, please? Because if you're asking to 29%, we have to adjourn this meeting.
Well, we had always asked for that, but I saw it today in the published, and I think it was 26%. Now, the floor area ratio that's calculated by the architect's calculations also considers the attic space and all of those things that need to be included, which I understand. So I don't know if that 26% doesn't include those pieces of it.
Can you tell me how high, do you know how high the attic is?
It's on here.
Is it, can you tell me, Tony?
On here, he's got 184 square feet in the attic.
What, is it over 6?
Over 6'8".
It is over 6'8", so it has to be included.
It says on their plans that it's
Yeah,
29.8% is what the request is on it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We didn't request 26 errantly, but I think that I'm not sure where that 26% came from. The existing area of the attic is 184 square feet. We're actually making that smaller.
Can you just wait 1 minute?
Do you have a
please?
copy of the denial?
Yeah, I think it says 20, you want, I think it says 26. John, yeah. We gave him everything we
Oh,
have.
sorry.
Do you want this? Sir? Does he need this?
Probably not. Let's see if I can figure it out.
What did you send out in your letters?
From memory, I think it was August 23rd.
What did you send out? What the percentage?
Madam Chair, I'd like to point out that on the bottom of the denial, the plans examiner who usually calculates the FAR makes comments regarding how he comes to his total percentage, and he shows calculations based on the plan submitted to him that he comes out to be 25.8% for the FAR.
According to the plans examiner, he's got 3,935 total square feet, including the attic, and according to the architect, who's here and can enlighten us, it's 4,532 square feet. I think you're including the balcony. Are you including the balcony in your calculation? And the covered porch, because I don't think they get included.
Does a basement count? It's a finished basement.
Could I ask for that number again that the plans
Yeah.
examiner?
Plans examiner came up with 3,935.
40, so that would,
Hold on, let me add this up. That would be the deadbolt,
I think that's the difference, right? Because it's 432 plus this, but we say it's not included, but I guess it is. So, right? So that's the difference.
There is no decision tonight anyway.
It looks like you're adding,
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm doing the calculation myself. I think we actually have a note that says balcony's not included, but it actually is.
yeah, you have it in your
Yeah.
calculation. You added the balcony. I think you added the garage, too, and the garage.
Yeah, garage
Good.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garage does get added, but I think it's the balcony and the other,
And then portico you added also, I think, right?
yeah.
No, I just added it up and I came up with the same as the plans examiner.
Same as, okay.
Well, just ask what he has for the first floor, second floor.
Mm-hmm,
It's here.
yeah. He has it here, with the first floor is the second floor of the attic,
Fine,
garage.
that's fine.
16, attic,
156, garage.
423. Then we got portico, doesn't get added. Covered patio doesn't get added. Covered porch doesn't get added, and the balcony doesn't get added.
It says, then it says 3,157 square feet,
Where?
right here. So if you're, what else are you adding? See here?
Oh, no, that's existing. The proposed is on the
What
right.
else is he adding to that?
Go to the right, it tells you.
Yeah, all right. He's adding 15 first floor.
All the way down to the garage.
So it is, it appears it's 26%.
I think that's correct.
I believe so. Those
What?
items aren't included,
Yeah.
then it would
What?
be correct.
Yeah.
I suspect he would, so I think that's right.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't get us into slam dunk territory, but it gets us closer, hopefully.
It gets you closer. I have to tell you, though.
How are your free throws?
And I have to tell you, to disappoint you, we have no decision tonight. And I'll tell you why in a minute. You want to
Okay,
proceed,
understood.
and I'll tell you why there's no decision.
Okay, so we're asking for 25.8% as opposed to the 25%. I do want to note also that if it was a conforming lot, we are well below what the conforming lot would permit, you know, in trying to keep
Right.
with the character of the neighborhood and some of the other houses and properties.
This one. Is this a cluster development? Was this a cluster development, Country Point?
I do not believe so, no.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I believe it is a cluster development. It's my understanding there's, right, there's
I think it's R21.
It's
Not
R21, yeah.
cluster.
Is it on? I'd have to check the filed map.
There are green spaces that are along the outside of the development, and
So,
what I'm
there's a-
told, and this is...
You're not the only substandard lot, there's significant...
I
portions.
think for the most part, they are
Then it
substandard
is
lots.
probably
Yeah,
substandard.
yeah. I didn't bring other lots, I mean...
Let me just tell you what happened. You have a basement, plans for basements here. A finished basement with a existing recreation, an office, a den, and you have a kitchenette. Do you have, is it closed off? Is there a door that closes the basement off to the first and second floor?
There's a basement door, yes, that goes downstairs.
You close up.
Yeah, that's not, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Why I'm asking this is because the environmental department says it appears that the dwelling contains a kitchen and may be used as an apartment.
I couldn't tell you, and that's existing, that's not part of our plan. In fact, that kitchen is eventually going to come out. I mean, we're ripping that kitchen out.
Is there a separate entrance to the basement?
There is not, no. I mean, I don't know what the previous owners did with it, if there was an in-law or something, but yeah, I mean, the kitchen is coming out, but that's on our existing plan.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking this so that it clears it up. So I can't give you a decision tonight, but once we clear this up, I hope that we can give you a decision at the next meeting. We'll get a secret determination. That's an environmental determination. But what you're saying is the kitchen is coming out.
The kitchen is coming out, yes.
Okay. And there's no entrance from the outside from the basement.
No,
Okay.
not unless you crawl through one of those tiny windows.
Okay. Planning, is there anything else,
No comments?
gentlemen?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we hope to have a decision for you at the next hearing.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Israeli moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16985, Philip and Ann Braun, 18 Pinecone Lane, Comac. Location west side of Pinecone Lane, 260 feet north of Gannett Drive. The property is zoned R15. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the rear yard setback from 60 feet to 55 feet for an existing 286 square foot deck. Beautiful.
Yes, everything? Okay. May I have your name, please?
I'm Philip Braun,
Ann Braun.
And your address?
18 Pinecone Lane, Comac.
All right. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Good evening.
Let me have your name first.
Andreas Sophocles,
Do you need the spelling? He needs the spelling.
Andreas Sofoklis,
And your address, Andres.
49 Blossom Avenue, Holtzville, New York, 11742.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, members of the board. I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration on the request for our relief for the zoning code. With respect to the 5 considerations, I offer the following. It's our belief that the variance, if approved, would not produce an impact on adjacent properties in the neighborhood because the deck as it currently exists is only 2 feet larger than the original lawfully existing deck that was built with the original house in 1963. The request to us does not appear substantial because the original house was built with a lawfully existing deck that was only 2 feet smaller than it currently is today. Although it was non-conforming at that point, we have an original CO for that. The request is not substantial because the original house was built with a lawfully existing deck that was only 2 feet smaller. The benefit could not be achieved by an alternative because it would be a severe hardship to modify the deck as it currently exists, and it serves the use of the property well, while noting that the original existing lawfully deck did not comply with current zoning restrictions as well. The difficulty was created by the homeowner, assuming that the deck was lawfully existing. They didn't, wrongfully so, they didn't realize they would need a permit to reconstruct it as it was, and then the contractor error made it 2 feet bigger, which threw us to where we are tonight. And that's all I have.
Planning,
No comments.
gentlemen?
Well, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Everyone have a great evening.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
And Regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16986, Paul Franzone, 1333 Route 25A, Smithtown, location northeast corner of Route 25A and Monroe Street. Property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 24 feet, 41 feet existing, for a proposed 305 square foot first floor addition and 840 square foot second floor addition. Increase the height of fences on retaining walls from 6 feet to 10 feet. Reduce minimum setback of retaining walls from the property line from 4 feet to 0. Reduce minimum setback of fences from retaining walls from 4 feet to 0. Thank you.
May I have your name, please?
Paul Franzone,
And your address.
1333 Route 25A, Smithtown, New York.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes.
Okay, good. May I have your name and spell your last name?
Tom Trifaro, T-R-I, F is in Frank, A-R-O,
And your address, please?
1165 Broadway Avenue, that's in Holbrook.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, variance would not produce an impact on adjacent properties. There's many similar houses in the area. The request is not substantial. We are on a corner property, and our neighbor just to the east has a similar situation, a rear addition on their property, which is even closer than the one we're proposing. The benefit cannot be achieved in another way, again, because it's a corner lot and the slope of the property. And the variance would not cause an adverse effect on the environment because many people have built rear additions onto their homes in the area. The difficulty was not created by the applicant right now because we're obviously proposing to build the rear addition as well. There's other items as well. There's fences, there's retaining walls. Two big things against the property that he's on right now is there's a tremendous slope from front to back. I calculated out just a little while ago, it's 15.3 feet from front of the property, by the front of the driveway, all the way to the east end of the property, which is the rear yard. The property had water problems when he moved in. There was leaking in the basement, so he had to build, stop there was retaining walls there already, but he basically repaired them and made them better. There's a statement that the fences are 10 feet. They're 10 feet in the interior of the lot, but when you're outside of the lot looking in, they're 6 feet. And he did a real nice job of putting some landscape around it. All repairs were done to beautify the area, as well as making repairs necessary because there was water leaking on neighbors' properties. He's retained it all to his property. And I think it's a nice application because he just wants to get COs on everything, so it became his burden basically to, put all the walls up. Unfortunately, I told him you got to get it done though, and that's what, is being done there at the property.
Okay. Just to let you know that we were at the property yesterday,
Okay.
and you do have a very large slope to the property. The other thing is, usually 10 feet, we look at it and say, that could be to your neighbor, it may not be that appealing. However, it's your property that has the 10 feet.
Correct,
Of the
exactly,
retaining
yes.
wall.
Yes. It's not, the neighbor looks at a 6-foot fence
Right.
just like any other neighbor would look at it, yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Planning,
No comments.
gentlemen?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
It's regularly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16988, Irwin and Harriet Cohn, 31 Abbott Road, Smithtown. Location northeast corner of Abbott Road and Knoll Road. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to permit an accessory structure in the required front yard and reduce the front yard setback from 40 feet to 28 feet for a generator. Reduce the front yard setback of a 5-foot fence from edge of road pavement from 26 feet to 12 feet.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the board. My name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicants. I've submitted the affidavits of posting and mailing to Blaze Donadio. If you take a quick look at the survey, you'll see that this is a corner parcel, and the only place to logically put this emergency generator is where it is and shown on the survey. I'm going to submit, I don't know if you have the, we did submit some pictures, but I'd like to submit this group of pictures, and basically it'll show you that the generator was wrapped up in
You gotta use the mic. Go ahead. Yeah.
The generator right now is wrapped up in blue plastic. If you look at the third picture, it'll show you that the electric goes into the house. There's a meter right there, so this is the most logical place to put the generator. The size is 24 by 4 feet by 3 feet high. It's really no different than the size of a compressor for an air conditioning unit, but the building department considers this to be an accessory structure. That's why we're here. We're asking the board for its favorable consideration. We don't believe it'll have an adverse effect on the character of the neighborhood. We don't also believe that the variance is substantial. It's really the only place that we can put it. Whether the difficulty was self-created, you could see it's waiting there for your approval before it could be connected. And there's really no other way that we can do this other than ask the board for a variance for this generator. So we ask the board for its favorable consideration. If it has any questions, Mr. and Mrs. Cohen are here. They're sitting right up front.
Are you gonna address the fence?
I'm sorry?
Is there a variance for the fence?
Oh, okay. You can see, again, from those pictures, the fence is a chain link fence. It's 5 foot. There's really, again, because of the way the lot is configured, the fence really doesn't have an adverse effect on anybody. You can see that there are trees planted on the house side of the fence so that it'll camouflage the generator. So again, we ask the board for its favorable consideration.
Are they keeping the chain link fence, or are they putting a new fence?
No,
in?
they're going to keep the chain link fence.
Okay. Planning?
No comments.
Anybody? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
And Rayleigh moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. You're welcome.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16990, Paul Major, 23 Paddock Drive, Fort Salonga. Location, north side of Paddock Drive, 345 feet east of Narrow Lane. The property is zoned R21. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the total side yards from 34 feet to 23 feet for a proposed 936 square foot first floor addition, 777 square foot second floor addition, and proposed roof over 47 square foot porch. Increase front yard paving from 25% to 43% existing.
Yeah, have your name, please?
Yes, Anne Marie Major,
And your address, Anne Marie.
23 Paddock Drive, Fort Salonga.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
yes.
May I have your name, and would you spell your last name for me?
James DeLuca, DeLuca,
And your address?
477 West Main Street, Huntington, New York. I'm the architect.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
As stated, we're here requesting a variance for a reduction of side yard, total side from 34 down to 23. The house and the addition that we're proposing meets the required setbacks of 17 on one side, and with the addition would be reducing the westerly side down to 21.9. Unfortunately, there's a shed, an existing shed, that's less than 2 feet from the property line towards the back of the property. And that 2 feet plus the 21.9 brings us to that 23 total yard, side yard setbacks. And that's what our request is here for, the first part of the variance. The addition itself will be going towards the westerly side of the property and still will maintain over 18 feet. It'll be 21.9. The existing on the right is, as it shows on the survey, is 17 plus or minus. The driveway itself was put in probably 8 to 10 years ago. Unfortunately, it was done without the knowledge. The homeowners did not realize the amount of paving that could be done. It is existing and has been there for quite some time. And we just ask that if it's possible, we'd like to be able to CO the amount of square footage that it has presently. It will not be increased by at all by this addition. We will actually only be affecting the driveway on the westerly side of the property line, but it will not be in front of the house. The existing curb cuts and the driveway, the circular driveway in the front of the house will remain as is.
Does this have a variance? Huh? Yeah. I don't know. The one-story stucco building in the back, what is that?
That's a storage facility for cars. The owner is a car collector, and that has a CO and has come in front of this board for a variance when it was built.
Okay, fine. Planning?
No comments, Madam Chair.
Gentlemen?
No.
Anything you want to add? Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Is regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Yes.
The next case, number, excuse me, 16991, Nissan 347 LLC, 964 Middle Country Road, St. James. Location, southeast corner of Middle Country Road and South Hillside Avenue. The property is zoned WSI. The applicant requests a variance to increase the maximum height of 3 wall signs from 15 feet to 22 feet, increase the number of wall signs from 1 to 3.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, my name is Vincent Tremarco. I represent the applicant. I've submitted the affidavits of posting and mailing to Blaise Donadio. I'm sure that all of you on the board are familiar with and are familiar with this property. I think originally it was owned by the Gardner family, and it was a cocktail-type restaurant. Then there was a couple of other owners. So far, those owners and those operators were not successful. Tom Lamb and his family already own a Nissan Sushi in Huntington. It's been a very successful operation, and hopefully they'll be successful at this new location. If you look at the survey, you can see that it really does face 3 streets. There's Middle Country Road, Jericho Turnpike. There's South Hillside Avenue, which kind of cuts through to that shopping center, which is mostly defunct right now. And on the east side is 347. So there really is a necessity to have 3 wall signs. The height shouldn't have any effect on surrounding neighbors. It's all commercial. I think residential's got to be at least a half a mile away from all directions. The building is kind of a high building, so therefore we're requesting 22 feet from the 15 feet requirement. We're also asking for 3 signs again because it does face 3 seats, and in order to get maximum visibility, we are asking for those 3 signs. We don't think it'll have an adverse effect on the character of the area or be a change or a detriment to nearby properties. They're all commercial properties. The building's probably been vacant for 2 or 3 or 4 years now. It certainly would be better to have Nissan Sushi there than nothing. Again, the area is all commercial all around. The height doesn't have any effect on anybody, especially in that area where there's 347 and Jericho Turnpike and that little side road. So we're asking the board for its favorable consideration. In this context, we don't believe that the variance is substantial. Was this difficulty self-created? No, we haven't put up the signs yet. The only sign that's there is a permitted freestanding sign, which we got a permit for, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So we asked the board for its favorable consideration. One of the owners, Tom Lamb, is here if you have any questions.
Planning?
Madam Chair, the only comment that we have on this application is that we would like the board to be aware of the fact that the applicant is requesting to increase the height of the sign by 50%, which would be considered a substantial request when viewing the actual size of the sign. The building is tall, but 22 feet is rather large.
Okay. Gentlemen?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16993, Mark Wolf, 135 Adams Avenue, Hauppauge. Location, northeast corner of Suffolk Court and Adams Avenue. The property is zoned LI. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the required parking from 240 to 231 spaces, 171 existing. Reduce parking setback from 50 feet to 8 feet. Permit more than 20 parking stalls in a row and at ends without landscape aisles. Reduce the front yard landscape area from 80% to 14% along Suffolk Court.
Your name, please.
Good evening. Garrett Gray, Weber Law Group, 290 Broad Hollow Road, Millville, New York, for the applicant. I'm here today representing the Wolf Family LLC, which is the owner of the subject property. With me today is Sal Niego, the architect for the project. The subject property is located in an industrial park on the easterly side of Adams Avenue and the northeast corner of Suffolk Court and Hauppauge, with a mailing address of 135 Adams Avenue. It's a 4.5-acre lot with a frontage of 323.22 feet on Adams Avenue, and the lot is zoned LI Light Industrial, and is currently approved with a one-story as-of-right industrial building. The industrial building is occupied in its entirety by Contract Pharmacal, which is in the business of pharmaceutical manufacturing. Contract Pharmacal has grown by leaps and bounds. It currently owns 3 buildings in the industrial park. It leases an additional 3 buildings in the industrial park, and they just went to contract to purchase another building in the industrial park and are looking for yet another one. They currently employ over 900 people, many residents of the town of Smithtown. This is their only U.S. location. They've made a substantial investment in the industrial park, and 135 Adams Avenue, the subject property, is their corporate headquarters. The entire surrounding area is industrial. What we are looking to do is add parking. We've been before this board, and this board has worked with us and has really helped us to grow with associated variances. Actually, you had granted us a parking variance, and we're looking to reduce that variance by adding more parking, by putting a lot in the southerly portion of the property. We worked with Peter Hans in the Smithtown Planning Department to design this lot. It provides for easy traffic circulation, ingress and egress, and if you have visited the site recently, you will have seen people parking everywhere. So we're really looking to cure that problem. There'll be no adverse effect on the environment. No longer will people have to drive around searching for parking. There will be no real... Oh, get that? Go ahead. There's no impact on really adjoining properties. This is on a court, so there's only 1 or 2 other properties in that area. We'll also be bringing parking off the street and into the lot, as opposed to having cars line Suffolk Court up and down. All in all, it's not substantial variances that we're seeking. Benefit we wish could be achieved by other means, but unfortunately it can't. This is the only place where we can put additional parking. And the difficulty is self-created, but it's the good kind of self-created, because as they employ more and more people in this economy, those people need places to park. So if you have any questions for me or the architect, we're here.
Well, we were there yesterday, and I also spoke with Peter Hans. I think they were able to put in 59 spaces?
Is that what we're looking to? Yeah.
Is that going to be adequate for you?
Yes.
Okay. So that will bring it up to 231?
Yes.
Okay. Planning?
No comments. The department is very happy with the proposal.
Gentlemen?
No question.
And we would like to thank the planning department. They really helped out a lot in a tough situation.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll pass that on. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? May I have your name, please?
Sure, it's Tom Radgowski,
Spell your last name.
Radgowski.
Okay, and use the mic if you can. please.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. May I have your address, please?
145 Adams Avenue, on my home address, or?
Where you are now?
Okay. 11 Bob O'Link Lane in Northport.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
We own the company directly across the street from Contract Pharmaceuticals. We've been there since 1982, and we just have a couple of concerns. We realize that they've been growing by leaps and bounds, which is great, but we've been putting up with a lot of parking up and down the street, where we'd like to get this rectified, and we're actually
Let's address this.
sorry, and so our concerns are we're concerned about the aesthetics on Suffolk Court side, the narrow curb between the parking and the street. So that's a concern we have, which I don't see it's addressed. And the flow of cars, because their parking lot, the proposed entrance, the current entrance right now going into their lot is directly across from ours, and we have about 70 people at our facility. So we're concerned about cars going in and out at 4:45 or 5 o'clock, whenever you let out. So I don't know how that's going to be addressed. I don't know whether you even need an entrance down there, whether you could just use the other one that's further down the road. And we're also concerned, since we've been a long time member in Industrial Park, we've had a lot of bad snowstorms, and there's not a lot of places to put snow on that court, and a lot of it goes onto our lawn area, and then also onto their lawn area. So I'm concerned about the snow piling up on both sides, and then the cars coming out, our cars coming out, and then theirs coming out at the same time. So I don't know, have you visited the?
I did.
Okay. And we also wanted to see what the significance of the setback was from 50 feet to 8 feet, and we're just worried about the front yard landscaping drastically reduced.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's all your concerns,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to come back? Okay. You want to sit down, please? You can sit.
Yes, actually, with respect to the cars that enter and exit the main exit now, the addition of this second lot with additional means of ingress and egress will reduce the number of cars currently being forced to use the one method of ingress and egress. The landscaping on Suffolk Court, unfortunately, because it's a corner property, it's deemed to have two front yards. Otherwise, this would be deemed a side yard. And again, Suffolk Court is a court. It's not a full street, and you're not going to have cars driving up and down looking at the landscaping. There will be landscaping on Adams Avenue where their present main entrance is. And other than that, we agree that with all the cars on the street, something has to be done, and that's exactly the point of this application. We plan to bring all those cars off the street and into the parking lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
It appears on this application that you're leaving all those street trees. All you're really doing is just removing lawn area, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Really move in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Excuse me. You have one opportunity, I told you in the beginning. So if you would like to go out and speak with him into the library, that's fine with me. Okay?
And have a second floor in a house and make the house a little bit more comfortable for their everyday needs. It's currently a ranch residence. And with the second floor that we're looking to put on, we need some relief from this board. But I feel that all the reliefs are quite minor. The first relief is some relief to the front yard towards Nob Hill Drive, and it is mainly for an open porch. So it is an open porch, really just to protect you from the elements as you walk in the house. There are no other options. I mean, any projection forward essentially would require a variance, so any kind of covering would require relief from this board, as well as, we feel that it's going to enhance the character of the house and the surrounding neighborhood by adding this feature to the home. The bay window, which is also projecting into the yard, is only by a foot, and that's really more for adding aesthetics to the house itself, and we feel, once again, that's going to just enhance the surrounding neighborhood. The rear yard projections that we're requesting, as well as the side, if you take a look at the plot plan or the survey that was submitted with it, you'll see that the property is skewed, where it's really only slight corners that are projecting into these the reliefs in the rear yard that I'm looking for. It's not even the entire structure. It's just small triangular portions that are projecting, and that's due to the the angle of the rear yard property line, and the majority of the structure itself in the rear yard actually does conform. So we feel that's a minor variance for the amount of square footage that we're projecting. We planned this very carefully. We looked at a lot of different options, felt the option that's before this board tonight is really the best option to put before you. There is absolutely no environmental impact, negative environmental impact that is, and we just feel it's going to enhance the character of the neighborhood. And with that said, we respectfully ask for this board's relief and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Really moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16964, Frank and Alicia Lizardo, 98 Tulipwood Drive, Comac. Location, north side of Tulipwood Drive, 95 east of Shinbone Lane. The property is zoned R10. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum rear yard setback from 50 feet to 47 feet for a proposed 310 square foot second story addition.
May I have your name, please?
My name is Frank Lizardo, 98 Tulipwood Drive, Comac, New York.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thanks again, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, again, my name is Todd O'Connell, architect, doing business at 1200 Veterans Highway, Hauppauge, New York.
Okay, you have been sworn in already.
Yes,
Okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
The Lizartes, the purpose of this application is to be able to get a master bath, as well as some additional closet space and a laundry room on the second floor. And this second floor is going to go on top of an existing one-story structure. Nonetheless, the structure that exists, we're looking to cantilever ever so slightly to create a little bit more space. We're not looking to change the footprint of the house on the first floor. We're just looking to add a small cantilever, and unfortunately, this is causing the request for this relief. So we feel it's definitely a minor variance. We don't see it having any impact on the surrounding neighborhood, being that it's in the backyard and really can't be seen from the front of the house. No negative environmental impact, and with the sizes that we were looking for in the space, we needed every inch of space that we could grab on this particular application. So we really felt that this application was fair, it was not a major request, and it was the best application to put before this board. The Lizardos also did approach the neighbors, specifically the one directly to the rear, which we could say is the one that is most affected. But they did get petitions from the surrounding neighborhoods or the adjoining neighbors stating that they have absolutely no objection to this variance being granted, and I could submit that for the record.
Thank you.
And that would conclude my presentation. Any questions this board may have?
Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen?
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right, great. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 16978, Peter Jenna, 27 Cedar Place, Kings Park. Location north side of Cedar Place, 99 feet west of Twin Oaks Drive. The property is zoned R15. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 45 to 33 feet for a proposed 110 square foot portico.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Adam Wood, on behalf of the applicant, Peter Jenna. As was stated previously, this is a request for a setback variance from 45 feet to 33 feet. We had previously had this matter on the calendar, and we're here for rehearing. As I previously indicated, this is not going to produce any kind of adverse effect to the neighborhood. Many of the homes in this neighborhood have this type of front portico. It's a de minimis request. It's just a little bit over what is generally waived. There's no other way to create this portico. Essentially, the size is dictated by the way that the house and the existing porch is. And although it's self-created, they're interested in creating this where one does not exist. We would just suggest, because it is de minimis, that's not dispositive of the matter.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
We
Have a nice
got it
day.
right this time, huh? And planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Okay.
Or are we reading on Eric Berger?
Read it on, Eric Berger, and then I will close the case, and I'll explain why.
Okay. Number 16989, Eric Berger, 745 Meadow Road, Smithtown. Location northwest corner of Meadow Road and Dilmont Drive. The property is zoned R21. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback on Dilmont Drive from 50 feet to 34 feet existing for an existing 144 square foot first floor addition and proposed 661 square foot second floor addition. Reduce minimum rear yard setback from 75 feet to 41 feet existing for an existing 144 square foot first floor addition and proposed 661 square foot second floor addition. Permit environmentally sensitive lands, depth of groundwater less than 10 feet to be altered.
All right. This is the permit environmentally sensitive land, depth of groundwater, less than 10 feet to be altered, has been withdrawn. And so with that being withdrawn and they're not needing the test hole, I'll ask a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second?
It's ready, moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 1-16952, Minuteman Press, Smithtown, 196 West Main Street, Smithtown. Location, south side of Main Street, 472 feet east of Brookside Drive. The property is zoned CB. The applicant requests a variance to increase the number of wall signs from 1 to 2, permit a wall sign not to face a public street.
Where are they? Again, they're not here? How many times are we going to,
Twice. The last time it was adjourned, this time they didn't show up.
a couple of times?
I would just dismiss the petition without prejudice to refile.
Let
I
me
did turn it once one call. They might have just forgot.
What?
They might have just forgot.
I don't know, it's up to you. What do you want me to do? Adjourn it
I'm not making
again?
them pay the fees again.
It's really board decision. You can adjourn it one more time, and then.
Why don't we adjourn it one more time and then tell him that this is the last time? They need to,
It's Minuteman Press, where, where Ross used to be, right underneath the bridge.
Signs existing?
Are the signs existing?
Yes.
It might have been a result of a district court matter. They, I don't know, not sure. So Tony, just put it over one more time and just to direct the planning department to notify them. Yeah.
Last and final.
Okay. We'll adjourn to October 8th? That is the final adjournment.
I'd also recommend you put in the record that you direct the planning department to notify them in writing of the new date.
Okay.
This way, if anything happens, at least you made a record that you
We'll
told them
send
of
out a
this.
letter tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that closes the public hearing for tonight. Thank you so very much.
There's no other way to create this portico. Essentially, the size is dictated by the way that the house and the existing porch is. And although it's self-created, they're interested in creating this where one does not exist. We would just suggest, because it is de minimis, that's not dispositive of the matter.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
We
Have a
got
nice
it
day.
right this time, huh? Good. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Okay.
Or are we reading on Eric Berger?
Read it on, Eric Berger, and then I will close the case, and I'll explain why. Okay?
Number 16989, Eric Berger, 745 Meadow Road, Smithtown. Location northwest corner of Meadow Road and Dilmont Drive. The property is zoned R21. The applicant requests a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback on Dilmont Drive from 50 feet to 34 feet existing for an existing 144 square foot first floor addition and proposed 661 square foot second floor addition. Reduce minimum rear yard setback from 75 feet to 41 feet existing for an existing 144 square foot first floor addition and proposed 661 square foot second floor addition. Permit environmentally sensitive lands, depth of groundwater less than 10 feet to be altered.
All right. This is the permit environmentally sensitive land, depth of groundwater, less than 10 feet to be altered, has been withdrawn. And so with that being withdrawn and they're not needing the test hole, I'll ask a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second?
It's ready, moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next